We have some big news today breaking out of Washington. We have obtained the financial records of Debbie Wasserman-Schultz and her husband. These are records that have never before been obtained. And it turns out that Debbie Wasserman-Schultz had loans from a bank called Bank of the West. Debbie Wasserman-Schultz quietly paid off those loans and terminated the loans on the exact day that her staffer, Imran Awan, left her laptop on Capitol Hill for authorities and the police to find. So let's go through this. Imran Awan, the IT staffer from Pakistan, okay, worked for Debbie Wasserman-Schultz. He was arrested and charged with bank fraud for fraudulently obtaining a loan from the Congressional Credit Union, okay? The Congressional Credit Union for congressmen and congressional staffers. He took out a housing loan, but it turns out he didn't even own the house. The property he put down was just a house that he was renting, so he fraudulently obtained this loan. He was charged with bank fraud. Now, as part of the bank fraud investigation and the cybersecurity investigation into Imran Awan, he realized that he was boxed into a corner. And so he took Debbie Wasserman-Schultz's laptop and he left it for the Capitol Police to find. He just left it there in Rayburn, okay, on April 6th, 2017, shortly after midnight, about 12:30 a.m., this laptop was found by the police. That very day, quietly, Debbie Wasserman-Schultz paid off her loans. She's supposedly, according to The Hill, one of the poorest members of Congress, and yet she was able to pay off these loans just like that. Where did the money come from? Wasserman-Schultz owed money to Bank of the West on a 5-year loan arrangement set to expire on April 20th, 2020. But Wasserman-Schultz and her husband canceled the loans, presumably by paying cash, on April 6th, 2017, the same day that Imran Awan's backpack was found. So we have presented the records, the UCC filings, Uniform Commercial Code. Debbie Wasserman-Schultz did this very quietly, but she terminated her loan on April 6th, 2017. So we have her staffer getting charged with bank fraud for fraudulently obtaining a bank loan. And on the very day that her laptop gets handed over to authorities, that's when she decides to pay off and terminate her bank loans. Bank of the West, based in San Francisco, it only moved down and incorporated in Florida in 2013. It's owned by a French banking firm. And records show that Wasserman-Schultz and her husband purchased a $308,000 house in October 2015. Now, in a different transaction with Bank of the West, it turns out that the bank was the lien holder, and Wasserman-Schultz and her husband owned the title on a motorcycle from Norton Motorcycles. But the color of the motorcycle was listed as unknown. So I don't know if you can picture Debbie Wasserman-Schultz riding around on a motorcycle, and if she did have a motorcycle, wouldn't you know what color it was? She didn't know what color her supposed motorcycle was. And then she got rid of the title on this so-called motorcycle in June 2017 as this scandal was erupting. Now, a former FBI surveillance agent who worked directly under Robert Mueller told us that Debbie Wasserman-Schultz freaked out when her laptop was purposely left in public by the IT specialist Imran Awan. He said that Debbie and her husband had a strange loan arrangement with Bank of the West. She and her husband got some kind of sweetheart deal on April 20th, 2015, but they abruptly closed the loan the very day that Imran Awan's backpack was found. Imran Awan obviously knew that he was under target, and he knew that federal investigators wanted to see Debbie Wasserman-Schultz's laptop to figure out what she was doing in her position as a congressman from the state of Florida, and also in her position as chairwoman of the Democratic National Committee, a position she no longer holds following the disaster of the Hillary Clinton campaign. So this is all very interesting. Now, Imran Awan, his wife was working for the very corrupt New York Queens Congressman Gregory Meeks, who used the Congressional Slush Fund to pay off a lawsuit against him for firing a woman. She says it was because she accused one of his donors of sexual harassment, and so Gregory Meeks fired her. This is the person who met with Venezuelan leaders at President Hugo Chavez's funeral in Venezuela when Hugo Chavez died. This is the person who employed Imran Awan's wife, who fled the country with $12,000 in cash while all of this was happening. So this is very interesting, and this is all new information that we have put out. And there are some other news organizations that have done a great job reporting, but nobody knew that she had these loans until today. And these loans are now at the center of the Imran Awan, Debbie Wasserman-Schultz Pakistani IT scandal. And this is very big stuff. So some people in the Trump administration, some people in Congress, and a whole lot of people all over the country, I think, are going to be understandably outraged about this very blatant corruption. We're going to keep you updated on this as Debbie Wasserman-Schultz runs for re-election to her House seat down in Broward County, Florida, and as she continues to serve the people of Florida in Washington. Stay tuned to BigLeaguePolitics.com.